Hey everybody, welcome back to another Sons of the Forest video today. And today I'm giving you my top tips and tricks that I've come across so far while playing, and there's a lot of them, so stay tuned. But let's jump right into it. If you hold tab, you can have a quick access backpack. Now I like to use this for tools and stuff like the shovel and rope gun that I don't necessarily need on quick access, or I mean on hotkey, but I want on a quick access. Now how you do that is you go in your inventory, right click the backpack in, and then you just click add to anything you want in the backpack, and you can take stuff off to free up slots and say put other things in there. And building upon that, the hotkeys, basically anything you want be able to hotkey, you hover over it and you press the respective key. So if I want this on, you can do 0 through 9, so you can have 10 items total. So you can click 0, and now the modern axe would be on 0, or say you want the torch on 0, click it and hover over, click it, torch is on 0. Moving on to the next tip. Alright guys, for this tip, basically building, you can build in the bunkers in this game, and so we did, and we tested some stuff out. Basically, anything you store in a drying rack in here will not spoil, whereas in your base it has unfortunately a chance to spoil after a while. Another thing you can do in here though, if you go to your book, you can place wall torches in here and light it up at the one closest to your base, and then you have a nice spot to 3D print. Alright, moving on. Alright, while we're on the topic of food, we have fish traps. Now, you do not need this many. This is actually overkill, because as you see, most of them are spoiled, even though they're still alive, it looks like. I don't understand that. Hopefully it's patched. But this is going to be like 2 tips in 1. So, basically, you want probably like 1 to 3 fish traps at the most. I mean, I did 7, and it's kind of a lot. As you can see, this is a couple days in game of us being out, not being here. And it looks like they're all spoiled. But that's fine. Fish traps are still a great source of food. They give a fish every 5 to 10 minutes, so if you babysit them, you can fill your racks. Now, if you went out exploring and came back to all of them rotten like I did, this is another tip building upon that. So you take them over to your fire pit, you light the fire, and what you want to do is just now go to the part where you can put food on the fire, and then you click your rotten fish into the fire pit. And you can put 6 in there at once. Basically, anything that is rotten, any meat you have that's rotten, if you cook it in the fireplace, you can now make it not rotten anymore. It'll just be a cooked fish. And that is very, very nice. And then from there, you can take these and put them on your drying racks, and they should last you a fair amount of time. So, just gotta wait for this to cook up, and I will show you. You just gotta wait for it to turn green, so it becomes edible again, because it'll be red, so it'll be really easy to tell when they're done. And then you can take them over to your drying rack, and you can fill them up with your now cooked fish. Alright, we're gonna move on. Alright guys, here's one of the building tips I got for you, and it is spikes. Now, they just really don't know what to do with them, and between traps and spikes, this is what the out front of your base will look like in not after long. A bunch of wounded cannibals, you seem to come out here and finish them off, and then you can go burn them for bones and skulls. And you can also use this to farm loot pouches, and it also helps keep them off your base. I can show you how to build these in a moment here when... Oh. Okay. I will get back to you. Alright, well now that's dealt with, I'm going to show you how to build these and explain it. Basically, all you need to do is put at least 3 logs, like that, on top of each other in a stack, which isn't that bad. I mean, you could probably do 2, but I just found more success with 3. And maybe you can go higher. I haven't really tested that out either. We have another one coming in here. He's climbing in the spikes. That is interesting. Alright. So what you want to do is instead of building the fire, you want to right click and get the little circle option to just place it. And what you want to do is put it like maybe about that far from the edge of the wall. place it, and then you want to drag the line until you see it go onto the wood, onto the logs here, and then that'll make it go to the top. And oh, I just destroyed a trap by accident. That's unfortunate. Anyway, then you can keep dragging it across and just sticking them on like that. And then once you've done that as many times as you want to do, you can also get more sticks and go in for more angles and try that out. And the way you turn it into a spike is you stand behind it and you click the stick with your axe, and it will knock it down. And then you want to take 3 rocks and place them and fortify it like you would anything else that needs rocks to fortify, like any other stick structure. Basically, you look at it and you throw the rocks when you see little circles appear. This one's in the ground. Maybe it's gonna be annoying. Whatever. We can do one of these. I just placed. They kind of went inside. They kind of went in each other, so that's unfortunate. But you can just toss them like that, and that will fortify it so the spikes won't break, or they won't break as often at least. And it's very convenient. I definitely need to fix that hole. But yes, traps and spikes are definitely one of my biggest tips for base defense. We even went as far as doing something like this, like making a small confined space for them to run in here. But I did 2 slanted walls. Well, I did 2 sets here, 2 sets of 3, and then just 1 right here. And then I put a doorway in the corner, and this seems to work really well. They actually don't ignore the doorway. We don't even need a door on there. That was added for cosmetic, actually. You can try different designs like this, where they have to come in and do that after, or you can do ones like that where it's just out front of your base. I definitely do recommend putting a gate on your base so you can let your NPCs out a little easier, and if and when they add log sleds, which I heard they were confirmed, but I haven't looked into it too much myself. That way you can also get your log sleds in and out. And this is another take of defending a gate or entrance a little bit. And this is another version we've done, which has also worked very well. And they don't seem to notice that this spot is here, and they don't really come through here. And this door does not ever get bothered either. We didn't really need a door here. Again, it was kind of just for looks, especially once they add the locks. And sometimes they'll try to flank around the side here, and they'll run into the spikes and get killed, or they will just try to bum rush the door here or the walls, and they will just get crushed by this. And this is how we've been fortifying our entrances and exits. And definitely, if anything where you want cannibals to not get in, or you want to just farm them for bones or whatnot, just put spikes and traps. It'll get the job done. And hopefully I gave you some ideas on how you can do that. And definitely let me know down below what you guys come up with. Alright, these are the top clothing I would get. You can look up on the wiki where to find them specifically, because I do not remember where I've gotten all these. But I can at least let you know which ones you want to look out for. The pajamas. That purple bar in the middle there is your rest. It's a sleep buff. So the higher that is, the more rested you're going to be when you wake up. The top bar is its warmth, and the final one, the blue one, is the weather resistance, like to rain. So when you want to go to sleep, you definitely want to wear the pajamas for that max sleep buff. You can find a winter jacket that has maxed out, weather resistance, so you can, or warmth. So this will definitely help you out in the winter seasons. The wetsuit for diving is really amazing, and the rest of the time I wear the leather jacket because it has a really good weather resistance and just other stats that are okay. So for just running around in general, I use the leather jacket. But when it's bedtime in the forest, or Sons of the Forest, you put on your pajamas. Alright, so keep an eye on my rest bar there and how it's only halfway. Now when I sleep, it should be overcharged in the morning. Oh, okay, I guess it wasn't overcharged this time, but it fully fills the bar, and that is how you do that. And a little breakdown on the clothes in the game and what you can use them for, or some of the better clothing types. The other ones you can give to your NPCs to make them look cool. Alright guys, another tip here. You want to make sure you build enough storage and hoard everything. Like when your cannibals attack you, burn their bodies, store their bones. You can build a lot out of bones in this game, like the chandeliers and the chairs and you can make armor. So, I mean, and I'm probably forgetting stuff, but there's definitely a good amount you can use bones for, so make sure you store all of them. You can make stacks of firewood. If you cut the logs to this size, you cut them to a quarter, then cut them in half. You can store them. Another thing, you can use, when you want to do firewood, you just have to place it into the fire, and it goes right in there, and it is much better than sticks. It burns a lot longer, and that's another thing you can store. Logs. You want to make sure you store as many as them. If you have them laying around after a build, store them because you'll need them. I mean, rocks. It's hard to find them in winter, so make sure you have yourself at least a little bit of rocks in case you need them for anything. Just so you don't have to wait. Sticks. Now, sticks are what I normally have Kelvin collect. He is very good at getting sticks. He can find them out of fucking nowhere, and now they nerfed his fish, and he only gets a couple and stops. The fish traps are way better for that. So now I pretty much just have him clear stuff for me or get sticks, because those are what he is very good at. And to keep the storage thing going, you know, you want a good amount of drying racks so you can fill them, and then, you know, whenever you need. If you end up getting a lot of fish from your fish traps, you can fill them up a lot. Store extra food you get, definitely, and you want to keep your you want to try to stay a little organized at least. Like, we try at least a little bit here to stay semi-organized here. Everything has its place. I mean, there's some places where it is kind of just like whatever, but most things have their place and where they belong. Like in here we have armor, skulls, and pouches, and then whatever else we need room for. But you can never have enough storage, and you want to hoard basically everything you get your hands on. So make sure you're doing that. It'll help you out. When you need something, you might just have it laying around. Now, another tip, this may be pretty obvious for some people, but for others it may not be. Use zip lines. Just knock yourself out. You can use them to transport logs. You can use them to get places faster. I mean, you can, and with the rope gun, you can go up and down them, and that is how you place them. To place a zip line, you click one end where you want it, and then you can aim at the other spot, and you click, and it shoots the zip line. And if you don't like how you place it, you can hold that, and it'll pick it up. It doesn't delete it, it just removes it and puts it back in your inventory. You can try again or replace. But I recommend using them as much as possible. And if you do not have the rope gun, I will be putting a card in the top right corner on a tutorial on how to get the rope gun. Next tip here, definitely give Virginia the guns. Give her a pistol and give her a shotgun. She is very good with them, and you can get the guns again. All you gotta do is hold E, go to the backpack, press R, and you can give her the gun and the shotgun. You can also put a GPS tracker on here so you can keep track of where she is. So definitely do that. You don't want to lose her. Do you ever wonder if you can transport logs down a creek or a river? No, you can, except these shallow parts. It doesn't go down very well. So what you want to do to avoid that is build a zip line a little bit higher up, and you can put a quarter or a half log in the creek and attach a zip line to it, and when the logs hit it, they will bounce off of it a little bit and go forward. So I have that right at the edge of the shallow into the rapids. I have a dam built down creek, so we're going to test this out, or I'm going to show you how this goes. See, look, they hit that and they bounce right off and they go right into the rapids. So that way you can get them through the shallow parts of the creek and get the logs down. And they flow right down. They would get stuck here and pretty much everywhere in between. So it's very nice that you can use zip lines once again to save the day. And have a very nice, easy log transport system. And then by the time you send 1,000,000 logs down, they'll all be piled up down here. So it does take a minute sometimes. Because the logs do not bounce anymore. But once you have them here, you can send them back towards your base then. If you just keep sending them down a zip line system of water and zip lines to transport them all the way back home. And then once you get back home, I have a system of storing them here that is really cool and really efficient. I'm going to show you a couple of things here. So we have the logs come down the waterfall here, and they end up in this little shallow area. So we have a zip line here that sends them back. Now, if you didn't notice, you can press C to, I mean, this is probably how you store logs. You press C and they go in a holder. Well, it turns out I don't know how many of you know this. You can press G to throw it, and if it's near a holder, it'll go right into it for you. So in understanding this, I have put a pillar in the middle of a 2x4 log holder area. And when they hit the pillar, similar to the one in the creek, they hit it and they fall off. And they land all the holders around it. So once you get them to, the last zip line to your base, you can just have them store for you. You just send them back. Someone could be chopping them and sending them down to you where you are, and then you can be sending them back to your storage very efficiently. And they'll be storing themselves. So I'm going to go over them and show you that they are indeed going into the log holders. Actually, you can see it right there a little bit. Yeah, see that? They fill the holders right up. Hit the bounce off, and they pick a holder and they go to it. And that will fill an area about this size. If you put it in the middle, you can fit 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, it's 5. I thought it was 4. It is 5. It's a 2x5 area that I have experimented with. I haven't gone much farther out, but I know it's at very least that you can go this wide. And if you're wondering how to get the log in the middle of a bunch of log holders, because obviously you can't just walk up and place it in there, all you gotta do is look for where it is a white circle still, place a log there, and it will allow you to let me get this to work again. I did this before. I put in the second row here, so and I just did it to get it into the post of that one, but you can put one out here, and then you can't place it here, right? But you can attach it to this log, and it allows you to place it and keep going pretty much as long as you want. You pick up the first one, you place the next one, pick up the back one, and you can kind of just keep it going. It's a little buggy and it might take you a bit, but you can get the log all the way in the middle, and then you just attach a zip line to it, and this is all you do. Just keep going with this as long as you want to get it to where you want, in the middle of all of the log holders, and then you can attach it. I'm going to get out of here, but yes, this is how you can have a little bit more automation to log farming and storing them. Alright, for the next trick here, now that you have a good way of farming logs, I will show you some basic building tips. So basically, this is how you would place a log on the ground, and you just frame it out by attaching them to each one. Now, if you want to build off of an existing frame, all you gotta do is walk up, look for the arrow right there, and keep placing. It's very simple, and then it'll raise it. And when you're building on uneven terrain, you always want to make sure you frame it, because that will do things like this, and it'll raise it up to be level with the other platforms. If you build, say, there's another way you can build the squares if you're building something like that up there, and you just need to go up. You don't need to fill it in or make it even. And you have a lot of flat space, you can just place them like this and go from under. If you're just trying to build this is like the supports for something, not necessarily the ground floor, and that will it only works on level ground. It'll be unlevel after a while. Like, say I went somewhere like down here, and then kept going this way, it would start getting funky because I'm going down the side here. So if you want to make it easier on yourself, and just frame it out if you want it to be perfectly level. And I guess we'll go into another trick here with the building. So they have added the ability to put the apexes in for the triangle side roofs. Like before, you could, like on this little dam I have down here, let's see here. Let me find a good example of this. To fill in a roof that's a 1x1 of the square of the foundation, you just need to make a triangle, or you place a full log, but you cut off a quarter, and you put the longer piece on, and then you put the quarter on, and then the tiniest bit on the piece on the top, or something like that. And the measurements may be wrong, but and then it will stack like that, and then you just put the two beams across as a triangles. Now, if you are building a roof like I have set up over here on the hill. Now, you can only do the apexes if it has a foundation. I tried building a square, that freeform, other freeform way I was showing you, just like this. And then I built a whole frame and came out with this. It would not let me put the apexes in without the framework. But once you frame it, all you gotta do is place them in, and it will cut the log to the size you need it to be for you. And the best part is, the very top one, you already have, because you cut them already. And that's how you do the little apexes, and it is very useful, because the other ways of filling them are not so pretty and nice as this. So I would definitely recommend checking that out. Now, a quick little explanation on struts. Basically, you can build out with a building like that, and you can keep going. It's kind of how you can do something like that. This is how I did the porch on our house. And then I need to get some beams here. Dismantle this one. It's fine, we've already used it. Which one's not a full log? That one was nuts. Aha. We found the not full log. Alright, here we go. Now we have all the logs on the ground. So you can, once you build something like this, you can go ahead and pull out the middle one, and that's supported. So you can go one more. We're going to boost this one up, and it is now 3 wide. You can pull this out and go one more. But we will not be able to pull it out this time. And how you can get around this to build at least another block out, or another frame out. It won't let us pull the beam now. What you gotta do is take half a log and place it in the corner here, and this is a strut, and then that will support it, and you can pull this out, and you can pretty much use this to do a lot of things, like building a house that's not on the ground, like a raised platform, or just building like a balcony or something. There's a lot of things you can do with it. And that's very nice and useful, so I figured I'd share that with you guys in case you didn't know. Now, another cool building trick I got here is, where are some full logs? I need some full logs here. So say, for some reason, you wanted to put another snap point in the middle of this, right? All you gotta do is, kind of like we did earlier, placing one a little bit farther away. And sometimes it'll even let you connect it like that, but other times you have to do that little trick we did earlier to get that log where it wasn't supposed to be. And you can kind of just like inch it closer and closer to get snap points in weird places. And I don't really know how many applications there are for this, because sometimes the snap points don't work. You kind of really got to play with it sometimes. But you can kind of just force logs where they aren't supposed to be if you play with it, and I think that's pretty cool. Now we have a log here for pretty much no reason, and it's not in the snap points. So that's pretty cool, I guess. Here, let's get all of these out of here and see if we can do anything with this. I mean, I don't necessarily know, but you know, you could always do something like this, where you place a pillar nearby, and then just take a diagonal and just kind of put it in, like diagonally into another build, and then we could take like this beam and push it up. Now we got this weird thing going on here, so like, you could probably definitely use this to layer logs in ways to make non-square shaped buildings. So I would definitely mess with it if you want to try something a little jank. But I just figured I'd share that, because why not? It's kind of funny, and maybe this will help someone with the build idea they have, so good luck. I don't know what happened here, but I was going on my way to showcase another tip. And I realized that after the most recent update, all of the stumps are gone. There was a sea of stumps here before. And they're all gone now after the update. That's actually kind of cool. So I guess, you don't have to destroy all your stumps if it's near an update. Seems like it gets rid of them all. That's crazy. Alright, well, I guess I'll throw this in here. That's cool. Alright, so I'm going to explain strength a little bit here to the best of my ability. Strength is that first little symbol of the circles right above the main stat section. And how you understand that, it was a little tricky at first. We were like, what the heck's going on with this? But the red is like your XP or like points towards the next strength level up. And when you do stuff like fight cannibals, like with a melee weapon, or chop trees down with an axe, you will get points towards your strength. Not sure if breaking the stumps helps or not, but it couldn't hurt. So you can basically just chop trees down until your next strength level, and then once you max out that little red bar, it will show you what level your strength actually is. It'll like flash for a second, but don't blink because you'll miss it. So I will be back when I can get this leveled up. Alright, well, we've destroyed a ton of trees and we're getting pretty close, so I figured I'd start recording again. Another couple things about strength. The higher your strength, the more spears you can carry. All you need to craft a spear is 2 sticks. You click into your inventory, then you click the knife and a piece of duct tape or 2, and that's a spear. Also, the higher your strength is, the more damage you will do with melee weapons. So keep that in mind. It'll affect the damage on them. But yeah, we're going to keep chopping trees here, and hopefully within a few more of these we get the little level up so you guys can see what it looks like. There you have it. Flashes for a couple seconds there, says your level, and then it resets to the next level. If you didn't know, when you kill a mutant, you can hold E on it and harvest a creepy armor from it. Same goes for the cave cannibals. If you find yourself running low on bones, or skulls, or cat food, or coins, there's just some things you can get from just digging around the map. Just digging random holes wherever you are, you can find lots of little random stuff. And if you're low and you're desperate, it would definitely be worth it to just dig some holes and see what you can find. We will see if we can find anything here in a moment. You can also get small rocks this way. Not like they're hard to find or anything though. But yeah, and this will put you towards your Blister's achievement for digging 1,000 holes. Another thing with the shovel, if you find little grave sites like this, you can dig at them to dig up coffins. Coffins drop a lot of rope, cat food, potentially coins, and best of all, cloth. So if you need any of that stuff and you see a grave site, do not hesitate to defile the shit out of it and get yourself some loot. Also wire. Apparently some of them have wire. Also, make sure you 3D print yourself all the items like the flask, the sled. You can 3D print yourself grappling hooks, and get arrows. There's a red mask. Make sure you get all that. Also, I recommend building your base location, picking a base location nearby a bunker somewhere with a 3D printer. Not only so you can store food in there that won't spoil, but so you can also 3D print stuff whenever you need it. So stock up on that printer resin, find yourself a bunker. They'll be the green glowing dots on the map. So after you kill yourself a bunch of cannibals, you might find yourself having a bunch of skin pouches. Now, I can't open any right now because I'm full on a lot of things, but you click them in your inventory here, and you click this, the craft symbol, and the more of them you open at once, the faster it will go, kind of like crafting. Like if you were going to craft some armor, do it in bulk, like if you're crafting bone armor or hide armor or something, craft it in bulk. It'll craft faster every time you craft one, or open a skin pouch. Skin pouches can give you anything from food to meds to crafting components. Definitely stock up on them. And if you can't open them, do what we've been doing and just store them in your base on the shelves. You can store practically everything on the shelves, so just gotta hold E on it and toss them on. If you put a stick in the ground and fortify it with 3 rocks, and then take a GPS locator, which you can find at the purple exclamation points across the map marked on your GPS. You can then place one on top of the stick. Currently, it does not let you change the symbol. Even if you do, it won't go on when you put it on the stick, so keep that in mind. But you can use this to mark things like your base or other important locations that you might want to have marked. And if you're early game, make sure you build yourself a birdhouse, really any point in the game, so you can craft yourself as many stone arrows as you want. So this will make it very easy to get feathers. You don't have to kill birds. And to craft arrows, all you need are some sticks. Here, let me fill up a little bit more on sticks, and we will get right into it. Alright, so basically, the recipe is, I believe, 2 sticks. You need some small stones, and then you throw in your feathers. And you craft yourself some stone arrows. So definitely keep that in mind. The bow is overpowered, especially once you get the modern bow. You can headshot enemies and they're done. That is a very cheap way to take out just regular cannibals without wasting too much of your ammo. Also, make sure to craft yourself a club, a repair tool if you're playing with building destruction on, and a torch. Now, torch is 1 stick and 1 cloth. The crafted club is a skull and a stick. And the repair tool, I can find the recipe, I think. No, I can't. I do not remember the recipe, but I'm pretty sure it's just a rock, a rope, and a stick. You can play around with it a little bit, but I believe that is the recipe. And the bow was just some sticks, some rope, and some duct tape. Alright guys, here's one of the last tips. It's a little bit of an advanced one, hang glider. You can find them at multiple locations across the map, mainly in the mountains. It's the only place I found them is up in the mountains and places like plateaus and whatnot. I will leave a card up in the top right, again, for a glider location I have found that is pretty close to this pond here and the mountain spawn, and just this side of the map in general. I know there's one that way somewhere up in the mountains in the snow, and that is all I know. But if you didn't know, when you were using the glider, if you go down really fast, get yourself some speed, and then pull up really quick, you can actually gain some height back. Get yourself to slowly go up, get a little bit higher. You are hang gliding. So that's a tip that I figured I'd mention. I don't know if I mentioned it in my video I did of the hang glider location. I gave a quick little spiel on how to use it. So just figured I'd throw that in there, a little bonus tip or whatever the heck. Yeah. And guys, the last tip or trick I have for you today is to enjoy the game. Don't get too overwhelmed. Just enjoy the playthrough, and after your playthrough, this is basically just a sandbox. Kind of just build and mess around and explore and craft and discover all the secrets of the story and the island. Now, hopefully you guys made it this far and you learned something. If I missed anything that you guys think is important, leave it down below, because share the love. I will pin comments of things I missed, and so everyone can find them pretty easily. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really hope this helped. If you guys are looking for ways to support me, just like the video, comment something, and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, make sure you turn the bell on so you get notified when I upload. I'm going to try to be more consistent again. I know I've been a little slacking on that in that department, but yeah, this is my first beginner's guide / tips and tricks video of this game, and hopefully you guys learned something and hopefully you enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care now.